all you gotta do is what? You need to take a shower. We'll listen to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta drive to work. We'll listen to the podcast. You gotta drive to school. We'll listen to the podcast. You in the bathroom. We'll listen to the podcast. You gotta do the dishes. We'll listen to the podcast. You're cooking dinner. We'll listen to the podcast. Oh, what? You gotta mow the lawn? We'll listen to the podcast. You gotta go to the grocery store. Listen to the podcast. You're doing homework. We'll listen to the podcast. You're working out. Listen to the podcast.
Maybe not with homework.
Warrior.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Now You Know, the one-stop shop podcast. We changed the name. Well, Sims coined the name after we had already uploaded the first video, so we're sticking with that for now. Once again, if you guys have any suggestions, you can give us another name. So, by all means, today we ran a little long last week. We ran a little long. We'll try to cut it back a little bit, but we still got a lot to talk about. We had a lot of wrestling news this week, which is what we're gonna start with today. So, Sims, say what's up and everything.
What's up?
All right. So to start things off right from the beginning, NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 happened. We watched it. We're going to review it a little bit here and talk about some other stuff, maybe a little bit about SummerSlam. You know, I didn't really watch much of SummerSlam, just really one part, honestly. So, initial reactions, how did you think about what did you think about TakeOver?
I thought it was good, as usual. I don't think I've seen a bad TakeOver. So, and the matches were good for the most part. Crazy moves. Good stories in there. There were, there was a surprise in there that I didn't see coming. And then you had, even, for something for me that didn't really hit, I could see with what they were going for. I didn't really care for it. That's just my basic thoughts on it.
Okay. Yeah, I would be along the same lines of it was good. I don't think they can put a bad show on. Was it one of my favorites all around? I would still I'd put the last two above it still, other than like the main event. The main event is always the main event itself brings it up a few levels for me, just because the main event's usually always so good. They had the storyline, I guess, end between Adam and Johnny, I assume. So, with that being said, I think the main event made it better all around for me. If the main event wasn't that great, as it was, as it always is, it would definitely have been lower than the most recent ones, but still a good show. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't on my feet for everything like I was for the main event.
I was to start, but I want to go ahead and get into the first match.
Yeah.
With it was the tag title match, Undisputed Era versus the Street Profits. I was on the edge of my seat the whole match because they were going with the story of Undisputed Era is going to be dripped in gold, and I've been waiting for somebody to do that. Last time I saw it was on Lucha Underground. might have been the only time I actually saw it live. So I was waiting on it, and then they lost. The match was good. Kyle O'Reilly, crazy. The way he sells is. He was back in Canada too, so he's from Canada, so I could tell by the crowd reaction. But the way he sells is, he might be up there with one of the best sellers. But he was fine. Dawkins was fine. Jish was fine. They all were fine. The end was fine. He gave the spear to Fish first. Then he gave it to O'Reilly. And then Ford hit the splash off the top. And as soon as he pinned him in one, it kind of deflated me because there went the whole storyline that they've been building since Adam won the championship.
Right.
So it kind of turned me off at that point. It was still a good match. It just upset me a little bit.
Yeah, I think they generally TakeOver always usually starts. You can almost guarantee it's starting with the tag match. Most of the time, I think this tag match wasn't as great as some of them that we've seen before. It was good, still wasn't bad. I think I could tell. I noticed something during this whole show where I was like, "Oh, I kind of realize what they're doing, but I don't know if I like it that much." So Nigel kept referring to Toronto being like pure wrestling, like a lot of like how Toronto fans they're all about the pure wrestling because that's Bret Hart and that's all. A lot of wrestlers are from Canada, so I feel like they were. Every match was trying to focus on like pure wrestling in a sense, like the whole like first 5 to 10 minutes of the tag match, they were doing a ton of like holds and like takedowns and like just like straight on standing up fighting, and I guess they might have been doing that because of the pure wrestling part of it. They might not have been. That's just how I took it. But the way I seen it, like I like a fast paced, like I'm more of the fast paced guy. I'm not like the deliberate like slow match type of guy. If it ends up being good, I don't have a problem with it. But this one was like I was waiting on it to kind of pick up a little bit.
You got to think about who's in there. One, you got Dawkins. I think he used to be a wrestler. So he's already going to be doing stuff like that. And you got O'Reilly, who I don't even know if he was a wrestler, but MMA, he does all that stuff. And then Fish, he's not like, I'm going to do a bunch of crazy stuff. He's only one in there to do like the crazy stuff is Ford. So
right.
Really, I didn't expect that kind of stuff.
I did. That's what I understand the way the match was set up and the way it happened. I understand it. I don't really have a problem with that. I just don't think it was like one of the best tag matches I've seen. Like I think I've seen better tag matches on NXT's like the weekly every week. You know what I'm saying? Like even some of the Dusty Rhodes Classic matches that they've had on the weekly television, I would put above some of those. It was still a good match. Don't get me wrong. It sounds like I'm saying it's a bad match, but it compared to some of the other ones, it's just a little bit lower.
Well, if you don't have without the, not that it's not bad, but without the bad, you don't appreciate the good.
Right.
So even in this case, without the good, you can't appreciate the great.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. The next match we had Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. Uh, NXT is great with storytelling. They really are. This was like, if you want to classify them, rank them, this was probably the least important match on the card. No title involved. It's just like a friend versus friend. One of them has turned. But the story was still great, and I love how like Io is. It's like a complete 180 character flip. And the match was really good to me. I would call it a great match. Like it had me more on the edge of my seat than the first one. I really like this one. I like this one.
Yeah, I didn't. I was definitely when it was saying, okay, this is because there's always the 4 titles and then the storyline match. So I'm like, okay, this is the storyline match. I just thought about it, a little break, and then the match was really good. LeRae kicked out of that her finisher. She kicked out of the moonsault.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happened before. I don't know if Shayna ever straight up kicked out of it. So it made Candice LeRae look really good. I don't really. Io kind of gets on my nerves since she turned, which I mean, technically, I guess that's good. You're not supposed to like her. So I don't. So I guess she's doing a good job. But yeah, she just annoys me with her facial expressions, and I'm like, but I guess that's good. So I guess that's a good thing she's doing that. But the match was really good. It didn't surprise me because they're both really good. But Io hadn't really reached a level in her matches where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, she really fought. She was good, but I wasn't sold on her completely.
Yeah.
But this was definitely breakout performance for her. I don't see where this goes next because she beat her clean with this. She beat her with she tapped her out, didn't she? Or she passed out or something.
She passed. Yeah, she napped her.
Yeah.
So let me say that I thought about this because Shayna is she's looking dominant. I know she's always had the help of the horsewomen, but she's been winning lately without them. You know what I'm saying? The Io thing, it was kind of she fell out the steel cage. That was luck. But then she beat Mia here, and she's been a good champion. Shayna has, and there's been the past few takeovers. I was like, okay, this is it. Shayna's losing it now. Shayna's losing it, and we'll talk about that match in a minute. But she hasn't lost it yet, and I was like, where could they possibly go? Because she's beaten basically most of the big names, and she hasn't had the one-on-one with Candice, but Candice just lost to Io. But I think they're gonna now push this darker Io against Shayna at least one more time, and this darker Io takes the title. I think that's where they're gonna go. I think maybe they weren't satisfied with that Io holding the title, so they just changed her a little bit, and that would be heel versus heel. But
they would cheer Shayna.
Yeah. You think?
Yes. Shayna's fine. People be cheering her now.
Yeah. Oh, NXT ain't really I mean, the fans, we boo who we're supposed to boo, but we like everybody. Except for maybe the Forgotten Sons. Ain't nobody like the Forgotten Sons. But I don't know if we mentioned who. We mentioned Io one, but you mentioned the Street Profits one because you didn't like that Undisputed loss. Okay, I was just making sure we were mentioning who won these matches.
And I will say who we had picked before. I had picked Undisputed Era to win the tag match. And I had chose Io to win this match.
I had chose Undisputed Era. I had chose No, I chose Street Profits. I didn't think they were going to do the full title thing. I had chose Street Profits. Uh, I had chose Candace actually, and well, that's the only two we've done so far. So both of our picks were different. But were we making we weren't making this a versus, right? We're just talking about it.
Yeah, no, I was just saying.
Okay. Yeah. All right, the third match. Well, there was something that happened right in between. They've been doing the storyline between Matt Riddle and Killian Dane. Killian's back in NXT. He's attacked Matt Riddle. They were supposed to have a match the week before Takeover. The match never started. Killian speared Matt through the ramp, like the stage up there. So Matt comes out. He says, I ain't leaving until Killian gets here. Killian gets there. They start brawling. They go up to the ramp again, take all these like refs and security guards out, and Killian takes Matt on his back, who is like trying to get him in this sleeper hold, and runs off the ramp with this poor other security guard dude who just got drug along, and they go through the tables. And I like this because like they haven't had a match yet, but it's just been like straight brawls for like 4 weeks. They're building to a match. I think it could be a good match. I know Matt's good. We've seen Killian 1-on-1 in NXT, but we didn't see that much of him. He was mostly with Sanity. I think it's going to be good I think it'll be a good first rivalry. I still think Matt wins the rivalry because even though Killian just comes back, like he's already been established. It's okay if he loses, just to Matt, because Matt is going to be in the title picture soon. And so, to me, I thought it was a good segment. What's your
I thought this is what I thought this is what I meant when I said the surprise. I was actually, because the card, I thought for a minute we were going to have like a big card. And I thought we were going to have this match on there and the finals to the breakout tournament.
Yeah.
And so when neither of them were on there, well, that's weird. I thought they would have put Matt on there and Killian, but I didn't expect it. I didn't even expect Killian to come out, honestly, whenever he called him out, but he did. It's kind of a weird pairing because they do all these vignettes for Killian. They bring him back and hype him up, and then put him with Riddle it's like, well, somebody has to lose, and like I don't know, like I definitely see Riddle winning unless they don't plan on Riddle staying there for long. Riddle was just in and out, and then he's headed to the main roster. You might as well have Dane win because he's the one that's going to be there still.
Yeah,
but and this also, they did a good job with the brawl because there was multiple times I thought it was over, and then it wasn't. I thought, oh, it's done now, but then no, they picked it back up. It's done now, and he escaped again. And yeah, that poor dude, I was like, I don't know why Killian did that. There was literally no purpose to that. He could have just jumped and not grabbed nobody. He literally said, no, you're coming with us.
That dude was probably excited, though, that he got on. Got that little spotlight right there.
We don't know enough who he is.
So. The next match was the triple threat. We had Velveteen Dream, North American Champion, putting his title on the line against Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. This was another chance for Undisputed Era to get a title. We hadn't really talked about the lead up because I was behind a little bit, so I had to catch up, and the time I caught up, it was time for TakeOver, so we didn't get to really talk about the lead up. when Roderick and Velveteen were out there cutting their promo against each other, and Pete's Done music hit for a minute. I didn't know who that was. I was like, what? I was like, what is going on? And then, I realized it was Pete, and the people went crazy because Pete's amazing. I love Pete Dunne.
It's probably because you hadn't seen him in a minute, and
Right.
you don't watch UK, so you ain't heard that theme song in a minute. He's been all on in NXT UK, so
I was gonna say Velveteen to win, but I was like, they could, if Pete's gonna be here for a while, they could give it to Pete. If Roddy, if they're gonna then I started thinking about, well, they didn't get the tag titles, but they could do it where they get like 2 out of the 3 tonight. Adam retains, Roddy gets this one, and then like the next week, Undisputed Era get another chance and get the title. So I started thinking Roddy towards the end. So I guess my pick was Roddy.
I went. I'll do it this way: before pay-per-view, or before the first match, the tag match, I chose Roddy. As soon as they lost, I said, "Okay, Velveteen is retaining." So,
yeah,
there's that.
Good match. There was a lot of like, I like the part where they kind of all hit their, on TV. They just call it all like signature maneuvers, like even finishers. But if you ever play 2K, there's a signature and then there's a finisher. So the sig is always the lead up to the fin. They all kind of hit their sigs on each other. Like, what did they do? I think Roddy hit that face buster to Velveteen. Or no. It was like Velveteen hit the Death Valley Driver or Dream Valley Driver to Pete. Then he gets up and facebuster to Velveteen from Roddy. And then Pete gets up and hits the X-Plex on Roddy. And it was like sig. And that was fun. And that was, I really liked that part. But Velveteen, he retained. I'm trying to think of how it ended. I kind of forget how it ended.
I remember. So, before I get to the ending, let me get to the part before. This is the second time I noticed it, where the crowd really got into it, and I started to get into it too, because the first time I was like, oh, he's done it before, but the last time we saw it, I kind of missed the getting hype part. I was like, I guess I just didn't think it was hype then. I don't know, but he did it this time, and it was fun. He had Dream and Dunn up against the ropes.
Yeah.
And this man just starts going back and forth, giving them both elbows. And when you look at it, it don't look fall really. Like, because he has to stop and hit both of them. It's not fluid. But it was just fine because I didn't know when he was ending. He did it like 4 times in a row. But that might have been my favorite part. Or the ending might be. But when he got both of them in the stronghold, I thought that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know I noticed this after I read something, and I think I might have agreed with it, where they said that this triple threat, they thought it was like, they kind of took it as a negative. I took it as a positive, but they said that they felt like they didn't go with the formula of you throw somebody out the ring and then like the 2 people go at it, and then they caught all 3 fight for a little bit. They felt that they tried to all 3 be fighting the whole time.
Yeah.
Which they thought kind of slowed it down and made it funky. I enjoyed it because we got to see like constant action.
Yeah.
But the finish was, which they got me here. I said, "Dang, Roger's about to win." Roger hit that because okay, so he throws Dream out of the ring, but when he throws him out, the camera stays on Dream for too long. I was like, oh, dang. You didn't. I saw too much of Dream. I think he's still there. But then Roddy goes back in, hits that, what's that called? What's his finish?
End of Heartache.
Yeah, he hits that end of Heartache. Pins him. I see. Okay, wait a minute. Undisputed Era is still going. And then out of nowhere, Dream comes, hits that elbow, throws out Roddy. I said, okay, never mind. And then, surprisingly, Pete got pinned. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't know who was going to take the pin.
But it was a really good ending to the match. They had pulled me back in after I didn't think Roddy could win it. But
overall, I thought the match was pretty good. Great. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I don't know.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I liked it. At the end of it, I don't know if I was jaw dropped, but I liked it. I liked it.
There was the spot where, who is it? Is it Roderick and Velveteen are beating down on Pete, and they're just pounding them, and then they look up at each other and realize they're like not fighting each other, and they look, and then they start pounding on each other.
Yeah.
So like that was fun. Pete gave one of his classic shrugs in there. I think it was for him and maybe him and Dream to team up. I think he gave a shrug and like, "Oh, let's do it."
Yeah.
It was the different characters. I could feel the different personalities.
One thing Dream always does is like he brings a little bit of nostalgia to it. Like he's done like Hogan in the ring before, and here he did a little bit of like Bret Hart stuff because they were in Canada, like he was doing a little bit of Bret Hart's moves. Just that's how Dream is, and like the crowds are popping for that. I noticed some. Go ahead.
I wouldn't have mind if he won with the sharpshooter, but since that finish was so good, I didn't mind. But if he would have won with I think because the crowd would have went crazy if one of them taps out to that.
Yeah. I think I noticed something about like Toronto's crowd. They're like it's almost like they're kind of like the Japan of America. Like they're kind of like in Japan, they let the crazy stuff happen, and some people are like, oh, and then they stop for a minute and like the people clap. Like that's Japan. Toronto is kind of like that. Like they weren't like constantly like going crazy the whole time. They were just like they would be quiet and let the match happen, and then something would happen, and then they'd do like then they'd get crazy for a second. You know what I'm saying? Like they were kind of like I said the Japan of America, but they're not in America. They're in Canada. So
North America.
They're the Japan of North America. Yeah. We had the women's championship match. We had Shayna Baszler, the dominant champion, versus Mia Yim.
I chose Shayna for this one.
See, this is another one where I was like, this might be it. This might be the one. This might be Mia.
I would have bet my whole life I knew that she was going to win. Mia is not.
Really?
Mia is not. I could. This is when I said there was something on here I really didn't like, but I could see where they went for. It was this match. I could see the story. Yeah. Nigel was saying it from the beginning.
Yeah.
She's cheating, but she's bringing the streak to it. Shayna doesn't expect this. It was just so like not fluid and like corny and like I don't know. The match was very boring and like she hurt her arm, but like I don't know. The crowd wasn't into it either. The crowd can really help a match, and they didn't want to help this time. So I was watching it and I was like, I started to watch it and I was like, I don't even know what's happening right now. But I was like dead set on the TV the whole time, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like this match was not it.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. Nothing special. It was just a match. I wasn't shocked that Shayna won. I thought Mia might have won, but like it was honestly like a 50-50. I was like, well, this person could be the one to take the title, but Shayna could also just keep it. Like I
If you want to, like, to me, if you're gonna do it, like, Mia is popular, but like, you want somebody to beat Shayna, you want it to be like your top baby face. I could almost see if they had it planned for Mia, and then they go out there and like they can hear the crowd is not into this, and like they're not that behind Mia. So they, I mean, I doubt it, but they could have been like, they could have called an audible and just told Shayna to keep it.
Yeah.
I could have expected moves if Mia won.
Yeah, yeah. And then we have the main event.
Oh, the finish to the Shayna match was father, because she couldn't use her arm, so she gets her in this.
Oh yeah.
Gets her in some, because she went for it twice, and both times Mia pulled her off. I said, how are you supposed to win? You don't have another finisher. She said, oh, well, I was in the MMA. I can do this. Okay.
I'll just use my leg. Chokes her out with her darn leg. What'd she say? She said, tap, nap, snap. That's her new thing?
I guess.
I said, well, she's going to do one of them.
Yes, I'm not.
And then, the main event. So, this was the third installment, even though it feels like they've been fighting forever, just because one, NXT's king of long storylines, two, this is their second 2 out of 3. So, of course, the first one.
How many falls have we had?
Altogether 7, yeah. So, the first one, of course, Johnny won the title. They had a regular one-off match at TakeOver 25. Adam gets the title. This is the rubber match. It's another 2 out of 3. Adam picks a step. Johnny picks a step. And if there is a third involved that has to be done, William Regal concocted like a death steel cage. And
a little disappointed in that choice.
In the death steel cage?
Yeah, a little bit. Because all it is, I mean, just think about it. You take the stuff from underneath the ring, and now you can access it during a steel cage match. I mean, like
I was gonna I was trying to think about. I was like, okay, the other 2 matches. It is really hard to compare their 3 matches because one was a normal 2 out of 3. And I still think that might be the best NXT match of all time. The second one was just a one-off, so it's like, it's not going to be as crazy as the 2 out of 3 because it didn't go as long. But it was still great. This one was great, but it was like, there was a lot of like extracurricular, like, weapons and craziness that hadn't been done in the rivalry yet. So it was a total different chapter of a 2 out of 3. So comparing
they could have still went like
yeah,
more in creative.
Yeah,
crazy.
I really liked it though. The first one was Adam picked a normal one-on-one because he's beat Johnny in every normal one-on-one so far. Johnny hits him with a chair, gets disqualified, gives him the point because that sets up his step, which is a street fight. He goes absolutely ballistic on Adam. They go around the whole arena, and Johnny ends up tapping him out for his. And we'll break it down in a minute, but like he gets his, and here comes the crazy steel cage. It went on for even longer after that. That used just about every weapon you could think of. Cut some barbed wire off the top and like tried to use it. They go off the top through the the tables, and how did you think about the ending? What?
Oh, I liked the ending because it was kind of, well, I liked it, but then it kind of like, I didn't like it, but, so I didn't like it because I saw a Canadian destroyer when Adam Cole jumped off the ladder with all the momentum, and that didn't do it. So I was like, I don't know. You almost shouldn't have done that other move if this is how you're going to finish it. Because it was a really good finish. Because, like, to fall from that high off onto the tables, and, like, you had the thing of, is he going to use the barbed wire? But then, like, he doesn't. And then the part that made it really good, if Adam would have fell and then just went and pinned him 1, 2, 3, I would have been like, maybe not. But it's the fact that they laid there for a little bit, and Adam just, classic, this is a classic Shawn Michaels. I should drape my arm across. Like, I don't even know I'm conscious to get this win. So, I like that part. I liked how simple it was. Because that would probably, they went through tables off of the top of a steel cage that was already on a table.
Yeah.
And then,
any other comments about it? How do you,
I will say, at first when I saw Johnny do the thing with, okay, I'm going to forfeit this 1 point just so I can get this, we can get to the next thing. But this was also pointed out, he didn't pin him that quickly. Like, I thought he was going to, like, wail on him with the chair over and over and over and over and over and over and then pin him. But, like, Adam escaped and, like, discontinued. So, like, even though Johnny got the win, like, it kind of took a while. His plan still worked. It just took longer than I expected.
Yeah.
And I really would have wanted the third fall to be something like, I don't know, just crazy, like a boiler room brawl or something, I don't know, something I hadn't, like I just saw a steel cage match.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had Adam winning, anyways. I didn't think Johnny was taking it back.
Yeah, I had him winning regardless, both ways. Before the tag loss and after the tag loss, Johnny's not getting that time.
Yeah. I had a few notes about it. Vince, in that Q2 press conference, whatever, said that his company's not going to be blood and guts talking about AEW,
Yeah.
But NXT did not put that in their review, I guess. And
I don't know if you heard, Triple H did a conference call after TakeOver, and Mike Johnson of PW Insider almost darn near said the same thing you just said. And he was like, but then Triple H was like, what blood and guts did you see? Like, everything that we used has been used in WWE before. And he was saying that, like, the fact that y'all would hint at it is that, well, what is that saying? And then he's like, that's what all of it is.
Yeah.
Is he's hinting at it.
Yeah.
So it's where they just said that, because Triple H, he tore up, dude, saying how, like, you don't make no sense.
And the last comment I had about it was like, Johnny's whole goal, of course, perfect storytelling, like always. But, like, Johnny was, like, enjoying it. Like, how he was smiling throughout the whole, like, match. Like, they do something crazy, and Johnny would just start, like, grinning. And it's just, like, I also think it's how it's cool. It's, like, his uniform, or attires, he's been, like, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and now he's Wolverine. I just thought that was cool, a little side note. But overall, it was good. It was different because it was just crazy. I still liked it. I enjoyed it.
I know some people are talking about, like, the kicking out of all the moves and stuff.
Yeah.
And I in the moment, like, the way, like, somebody said it, somebody said something to Johnny about how they didn't like it. Johnny was like, "Well, the people there, they sure liked it. They were standing up on their feet and clapping." So I was thinking, in the moment, I was like, "This match is crazy. Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
And then after, I'm like, they were kicking out a lot of stuff, but you got to go with like what you first went with. You liked it, so.
But go ahead.
Go ahead.
What you?
Good.
Okay. Well, I get it to an extent because these two have been in the rings. They had 7 falls in between them. They're gonna know each other's moves and be able to take each other's moves at this point. Like they always talk about how Johnny has like super heart, like dude will not give up. So I didn't mind the kicking out of things because they've took that move before. It's this is like a big rivalry where it makes more sense to kick out of things like that. It's not just like a Adam versus Johnny one match. Oh my gosh, why are they kicking out of all this? It's like a huge story culminating to this point. So I think it's better to like.
I would just compare that to New Japan in the sense of. You got Tanahashi Okada. Have you seen Tanahashi kick out of a Rainmaker?
I've seen Kenny, didn't he?
Okay, but have you seen Tanahashi? And how long have they been going at it? How many matches have they had? And he still can't kick out?
Nobody had a problem between Okada and Kenny.
When did Kenny kick out of a Rainmaker? I must have missed that one.
I think he kicked out of Rainmaker and Okada kicked out of a One-Wing Angel, right?
No, Okada didn't kick out. I know he did.
Really?
You don't think so?
Oh, Coda.
Didn't kick it.
But still, nobody talks about it in Japan. Like, it's fine in Japan.
Well, because in Japan, it doesn't happen that often.
Well, it don't happen in NXT that often. Like, this
is like 3 matches in a row this has happened.
Really? I don't know.
When they started to now.
I digress.
And NXT can give you if NXT wants a near fall, they can do what New Japan is. New Japan's near falls or kicking out of a finisher is the fact that you reverse their finish when they go for it. Because they will reverse your finisher like 8 times before you hit it. That gives you, to me, it gives me the same feeling of you kicking out. Because because if they hit it, it's over in New Japan. So when you reverse it, it gives me that same feeling of, oh, okay, you basically just like escaped death.
Okay, I had 2 more things that has to do with like after, not really have to do with Takeover. Any final comments about Takeover itself?
Just one more. This is the small things. Which I probably could have done this, but Adam just has long hair and like it just works better with him. But after the match, and he looked dead. He was groggy. And like he just looked out of it, and just the way he had to be carried out of the ring, and all 3 of them had to carry him. And I think somebody had his title to hold for him. It was just I just like the attention to detail, just how dead he was after that. But yeah, that was it.
All right, so it's still wrestling related, so we're just gonna segue right into this. If their rivalry is over, who do you think is the next? Because once again, great at storytelling. We had all of Tommaso and Johnny. I wish that could have ended better and Johnny not got hurt. Then we got all of Adam Johnny. Like
Tommaso not got hurt.
Who did I say?
Johnny.
Oh, Tommaso. 2 great long storylines in a row. Johnny looks like he's not going to be in the title picture now, I guess. So do you think they're going to do another long one, or what do you think's next? Who's next for Adam?
Well, whoever wins this breakout tournament, I haven't seen the winner yet.
Yeah.
But I assume they're going to go for the NXT title. But that's not really a storyline. That's more of just like who's facing them. Storyline, I heard Ciampa is making good progress. And I saw in an interview, he said that I'm going back to NXT when I get back. If somebody tries to tell me different, I'm not going. I'm going to NXT. They can try to tell me, but I'm going to NXT.
That man, he realizes that.
So I heard he's making good progress. It could be him as a face, avenge Johnny.
Yeah.
but not really avenge him because he's not gonna beat him for it. I mean, there's Riddle, but Riddle, he's caught up with Killian. Keith Lee, maybe, but he's caught up with Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody new. There's Kushida, but too soon.
Cuerno could come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta see him. I don't know.
I'm gonna say Riddle's gonna dispose of Killian, and then it's gonna be Riddle and Adam. Because I think they're doing a long storyline based off they're not getting in the ring with each other. Because when they finally do get in the ring, it's only gonna be one match. I think it's only gonna be a one match thing.
When is that gonna be?
Well, we probably got a long time till the next. We probably got till Royal Rumble till the next. Or is it Royal Rumble or no Survivor Series? We probably got till Survivor Series till the next Takeover because that's the next big weekend. So.
But that's when Dane and Riddle are facing, or that's when Riddle.
No, that's when they could already have it set up for. They'll have to have Adam's next opponent at that point. So.
Yeah, but what does Adam do between that?
I guess that's why we're not writing NXT.
Well, if they're going to FS1, and I saw that WWE might want to use more main talent on NXT.
I don't want Vince to touch it. Please stay as far away as he can go.
Somebody I don't know, somebody like Daniel Bryan could come down or something and challenge him.
Yeah,
I don't know, something like that. Some 5 people from there, Ricochet come back and challenge him.
As long as Vince stays just get away, Vince. Just get away. That's all I gotta say. But the other point I had here was if you could pick one match you want to see right now in wrestling, a one-on-one between any two people in wrestling right now, what would you pick? You want me to tell you mine?
Sure. I gotta do the rest of it.
I was thinking about this while I was watching TakeOver. Maybe it was just some TakeOver hype, but I don't know. I want to see Johnny Gargano versus Will Ospreay. You know how good that would be? That'd be amazing.
Oh, man. That's really tough, because I almost picked a match I've already seen, and I just want to see it again. Man. One match. Well, I'll say this. Okada is in it.
Okay.
The setting is New Japan. I don't know if you have a setting for yours. The setting for mine is New Japan.
Sure. Yeah, I'd probably put mine in New Japan.
And who Okada faces? Man. No idea. There's so many people. There's so many people. I almost want to say Omega.
Again?
Because last time it got spoiled who won. It really messed me up. But I guess I don't know. I'll probably say Omega.
Okay, so another Okada Omega?
Yeah, but that's disrespecting so many. I wanted Sonata in there again. I wanted Jay White in there. I wanted Velveteen Dream. I disrespected so many people on that. But yeah, I'm going to go Omega.
Okay. a few more wrestling points here. I know this is chock full of wrestling, but like I said, there's a lot of wrestling going on. Bray Wyatt, how'd you think about the Fiend? What'd you think about SummerSlam? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the only part me and you both watched. What you think about the Fiend?
The Fiend will cause your stream to lag. I think he has some, I don't know. That man got his hand on some technology because it was lagging. I tried to get on my phone. I tried to get 2 separate live streams up and see which one would take, but I saw it. And I'm gonna a lot of like when I heard his entrance music, I thought the same thing when I first saw the first Firefly Funhouse. Well, that's interesting and different.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't expect that. I expected, I don't know, some zombie music. I don't know. I didn't expect a remix that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the. What do you think about the music?
Honestly, when it was doing the whole like screamo part in the beginning, I was like, okay, this it's okay. But the moment the person started singing the "Catching the Fly," his old song, the moment they started singing that, I said, oh, never mind, this is fa. I said, this is fa, because that just did it for me. Because I really liked his old theme, but like it's different, and they added it in there, and you could hear like the crowd. The crowd kind of got louder too when the old theme song came on. Like people kind of started popping a little bit.
So then the next thing I noticed, I said, "Oh, he has the lanyards, the lanterns still."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, I didn't expect that. Why would the Fiend have? That's weird." And then I see the thing. I said, "Hey, that is really weird now." It's interesting. Also, what did you think about it?
So I liked it. It looked like his head, like his old.
Yeah.
That's old.
It was so weird that like his eyes are like closed and his mouth was out. It was so weird.
Yeah, that was fun.
I can't say too much about the rest of the entrance because once again I had some lag happening. I will say Finn Balor came out in the all white, and I kind of got hyped to see Balor in all white. That was fun.
Because we ain't seen nobody on WWE in a long time because we don't watch right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it's Finn.
So, what?
The match itself. I'm
trying to remember stuff because it was all lagging and stuff, so I really can't say.
I thought Bray looked pretty good. It was dominant. It was pretty.
I saw Finn got a flurry in there at the end.
Yeah. He got a little. He hit like shotgun drop kick, sling blade, another shotgun drop kick. Went for the coup de grace, and right when he went for it,
that was fun.
Bray popped up with the claw, and basically suffocated him to a win or something.
I will say it was Finn. Finn really did him some. Bray should really be thanking Finn.
Right.
In the back, because when Bray got finished with his entrance and it cuts to Finn.
Oh yeah.
I've never really seen what it looks to see somebody that looks like they saw a ghost. I think I saw it right there. Finn looks scared out his mind. That right man looked geeked.
That man Finn was going in his mind. He was probably going, "This is what I want you guys to react to when you see me come out as the demon. When you see me come out as the demon, I want this face right here."
Oh, and then the post match was fun too.
Yeah.
What did it do? It did all the laughs and screaming again.
Yeah, and he comes up on the
and the lights were like flickering again.
Yeah.
Was that inside the ring?
They did it in the ring, and then they cut off. Yeah. He laughed, and then it came back on the. He was on the ramp, and it kind of looked like a Undertaker type thing where he turns around. It was fun. I'm not comparing him to people comparing him to the Undertaker. I'm not comparing him to the Undertaker. But
I didn't know where. I thought until Soul Monster pointed out he was on the ramp. I tell. It was pitch black besides him, so I thought he was in the ring. So in my mind, I'm like, lights go out. Oh, okay. Oh, lights come back on. Okay, there he is. He's in the ring with his back turned. Lights go off again, and then 2 seconds later they come back on and he's gone. I said, now I know they can do stuff, but how do you get out of the ring that fast? And
you know how sometimes I talk about like, oh, all the little lights off and lights on you see on Monday Night Raw take a whole lot longer live, you know?
Yeah.
I watched a video of the Bray thing from somebody's phone because I wanted to see how much of a delay it really was. There wasn't one. Bray really got up to the ramp that quick. Like the whole that little laugh you hear, just in that short amount of time, Bray got out of the ring and up to the ramp in pitch blackness. There was no delay. It was crazy. But they made him look good. I liked it. You know, I kind of don't want to see too much of him. I don't want to get like too much Bray. You know what I'm saying? Like keep him like a special attraction. I don't know how Bray himself feels about that, but like it's just better overall for him. I think. Let's segue now. We're gonna segue right into one more, and I'm serious. Only one more wrestling thing, real quick for today. There's another company who's coming back to TV. The NWA, old wrestling company. A lot of old guys been there. They revamped it. Nick Aldis is their champion. James Storm is their national champion. Part of the Villain Enterprises is their tag champions. You know, all this, all that. NWA, TV. I don't know how big they're going to be. Like, I don't know what type of TV they're getting, but it was kind of a surprise. Kind of cool, I guess. I don't really watch much of it, but what are your thoughts on NWA?
It's taped. Automatic negative. I don't do tape stuff unless it's NXT. That's why I don't watch RH anymore.
Or Lucha Underground, which is gone, but
that was more like a TV show because it was in seasons.
Yeah.
And I never saw spoilers for that. It was weird. Like nothing ever really got spoiled. But also, they haven't said what this TV deal entails. Yeah. Are you actually on TV? Or do you just have a TV show that you're putting on YouTube now? If you are on TV, who are you on? Is it anybody big? Or are you on the Pursuit channel? Like, did you add some more people to your roster besides Nick Aldis? I don't. I feel like it's not a big. I feel like it's not nobody big. Because I would have been seeing something about this.
Yeah.
The way we were seeing stuff about TNT for AEW, you would have been seeing the same stuff if NWA's on darn Spike or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Am I gonna watch it? It depends on what station it comes on.
Yeah.
I'll do anything to give somebody some views.
Yeah.
It's not
as long as y'all don't try to compete with like AEW too, because AEW and NXT already, you know, it's just like I don't know where they're gonna put their shows. Like I don't know how NWA is gonna get some views. I you know, because like it's already stacked now.
Yeah, it's it's gonna be pretty good for me to. But I only watch NXT or AEW when it comes out every week. Yeah. NXT UK, I just skim to the end of each segment unless it's something I want to see. So I don't even count that. And I'm not doing that for WWE because I don't really care much about it. So.
Yeah. And August 31st is a big day in wrestling. Real quick, it's All Out AEW. It's in New Japan. It'll be at the Copper Box. I haven't seen any matches because I'm not done with the G1. And also NXT TakeOver UK Cardiff, all on the same night. August 31st.
I have finished the G1, and I can tell you, alright, I won't tell.
Yeah.
I'll tell y'all that it's a good card. It's definitely you can tell they knew that NXT was having a show in the UK the same day. So,
and All Out. I mean, I think All Out will be bigger than NXT UK Cardiff. That's a bigger thing.
I'm thinking in terms of getting people to attend your show.
Oh, yeah.
It's a direct competition in the UK.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So they know they're running a show also by the card. Because if you tell me right now where I'm going, and I can tell you already.
Right, yeah.
But people aren't going to have to fight for airtime. Because New Japan, what time is that coming on? That's going to, they're not in Japan, they're in the UK.
Yeah.
I think 3
o'clock
Eastern Standard Time it would come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not competing with AEW. It's competing with TakeOver. So.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah. All right, so switching gears, I want to just throw out some. We talked about some music last week, but there's some new stuff. Post Malone, he just said in September he's dropping his 3rd album. He came out with this song called Circles. It's not out, but he did it at like a live performance, so some people have heard it. Sounds like a banger, probably number 1 on the charts. Duh. Jonas Brothers, like yesterday night, did you see their video they dropped?
No, I went to sleep extra early last night. I was sleeping like 9. It was like before 9:30 my time.
Well, they have a new song, so I'd go check it out. But
remember when I told y'all when I hear a new song it goes on repeat? Oh, looks like I got a new song to go on repeat.
How you know if you like it though?
It's the Jonas Brothers.
It is fun. It's a fun song.
I like name a song they have I don't like. Exactly.
It's really good. I like it. And one more thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if anybody else watches. You watch America's Got Talent?
I watched the. No, but I'll tell you what I watch after.
Okay. There's this. They're in the quarter. I don't watch it. I used to watch it all the time, and keep up with it. But I know they're in the quarterfinals of this season, and they're on the live shows. There's this dude, and he's like a blind autistic boy on there. His name's Cody Lee, and he can his mom has to help him out to the stage. He has a severe case of autism, and he's blind. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't think that this dude could do this, but then he sits down and plays the piano and sings, and it's amazing. So I want to make the thing I don't care who else is on the show that season. If that dude don't win, then I just want. If you never heard of Cody Lee, go check him out. Dude, he's amazing, and he better win because I don't vote on shows like that, and I actually made an account and voted because the dude needs to win. So, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I've never seen an episode of America's Got Talent, American Idol. So you think you could? I ain't seen none of that.
No.
But I will watch on YouTube. Just some random clips that clickbait. They don't clickbait me, but it looks so interesting. I got to click on it. But the videos I like to watch are the compilation of top 5 golden buzzers because you watch and then you see them get that golden buzzer.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they went through, but they can get me emotional. They be getting all excited. They start crying. I'm like,
have you seen
on that?
You seen the Cody Lee one?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's only when I get on there and you know how you go down the rabbit hole.
Just random stuff. Yeah. I've been down the rabbit hole all day on YouTube. I wanted to mention. You said you were talking about how you watched that golden buzzer thing. And you were talking about how it kind of makes you emotional, makes you cry a little bit. So once again, we're gonna do a Fast and Furious. We'll talk about those because I'm on number 8. Just got to watch Fate of the Furious, but just watched 7 today, and talk about just emotional real quick, just a little tidbit. Got to the end of that movie, I was bawling my eyes out, dude. I was bawling my eyes out. It's
a nice tribute.
I don't think, even if nothing would have happened to Paul, and they would have, I don't think they would have written him off the movies if nothing would have happened. But say they would have, and like Brian would have been leaving anyways, and Paul Walker, didn't die, but they were just getting him off TV anyways because of his family,
Yeah.
I still don't think I would have cried as much as knowing that this is a tribute now. Knowing that he's actually passed away and that's what this is meaning made me even more emotional about it. Like, I was a mess. It's crazy. You see all those memes. It's like Titanic is when women cry, and it's like Fast and Furious is when the men cry, and it's like, yeah, it got me. It really got me.
I must be on the wrong. I don't know what meme you see, because you ever seen Monsters Inc.? At the end of the movie, when she opens the door and he's not there anymore. Dang, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Nah, yeah. So after all that randomness, I guess that's a perfect segue to go right into this week's Sims's Random Roundup. Yes, I started calling it that last week after we got that very nice Big Lots. Was it Big Lots story about the mattress? So I've talked to Sims and he's got his own segment now. So we take it away, Sims. It's your time.
All right, real quick, 1 or 2.
Oh, I'm just picking one.
Yeah.
Let's go with 1.
Okay, we'll go with 2 then. So this happened today. So last night, I said I went to sleep early, which I did. I had to go to sleep at 10:30 to get 7 hours of sleep to get up at 5:30. But 9:24 like rolls around, and I'm like, dang, I fell asleep watching YouTube. I'm gonna go to sleep now while I'm sleepy. So my laptop was charging. I just put it on the ground, went to sleep, woke up, unplugged the laptop, put it in my bag. Okay, then I had to head to class. It's the first class, and she's about to start the lecture, so I get my laptop out. I like to look at the lecture while she lectures. And I open up my laptop. My laptop's a little bit hot. Ooh, laptop's a bit hot. I said, laptop's a bit hot. I said, okay, my laptop is really hot. I said, it's probably fine. Now I open it up. Next thing I know, what is it? Windows could not start your computer correctly. Here are some options, or something like that. I said, this is fine. I just hit restart computer. Like nothing's messed up with my laptop. Same thing pops up. I said, okay, I'll hold down the power button and shut this thing down and turn it back on. It'll be straight. Turn the guy back on, same thing. I said, let me just reset it one more time. Reset it again. Comes back on, same thing. Now, the lecture's already started, but the good thing is I reviewed the lecture the night before, so I already looked at it, so it's not like I'm, in that big a deal missing stuff of what she's saying, because I already read it. It was an easy topic. So she's lecturing, I'm listening, and I'm trying to get my laptop on, and it's not. So then there's a reset, advanced options, something else. I chose the advanced options. It gives you 6 more options you can choose from. You can take off the recent update from your laptop. You can can do this. You can do all this stuff. You can troubleshoot. There's another section that said advanced options in the advanced options. So I try to I run this thing. It runs for like 15 minutes. It's like this will take 15 minutes and it'll get rid of any issues that you're having. I do it, nothing happens. I said, okay. I try to remove the latest install. It's like, that's not going to work. It literally said, yeah, we can't remove this install. I said, okay. I almost factory reset my laptop, and then I said, let me not do that because I think I'll lose everything if I do that, and then I'll be out of luck then. So I said, let me not do that. I tried to go talk to the IT guy that's in there all the time, and it was the last thing I had tried, and I went to go talk to him. I'll get to that later. So I'm trying all this other stuff, and during my head, like during the lecture in my head, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to get a new laptop. Dang, a new laptop. And I was like, was there a warranty on this one? And I was like, I got an exam. My first exam is in 2 weeks. I need to get a laptop quick. And I was like, can I go take it to the IT in the library? I heard somebody else dropped off their laptop there, and the next day they went and picked it up and IT had fixed it. I was like, I can do that, but I need my laptop later on today for this one class. I was like, well, how am I supposed to study? And I was like, dang, how am I supposed to get the laptop? I don't have no money. I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I said, well, let me try this one last thing. I tried it. It was taking forever, and the next class was about to start, and the IT guy, I couldn't get him down quick enough. So finally I get him, and I'm like, hey, my laptop's like messing up, and like I'm trying this thing right now, but if this don't work, could you help me out, or do I need to go to the other IT? And I explained to him what happened, how like, yeah, it told me it won't start, and I tried to restart it, and it don't work, and I tried to do all those stuff, and it don't work. And he said, yeah, just let me know. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does after this. So I'm like, all right, At this point, I kind of don't want it to work. That way I don't look like, well, why didn't you just let it do what it was doing? It would have fixed itself. So I'm like, no, it really wouldn't work before. But then I wanted it to work. I was like, nah, I want the laptop to work. So I sit back down and I'm like, it's not going to work. I'm wasting my time. And then it works. I was like, oh, I was so happy. The thing I ended up doing was, it said, do you want to take, I don't know why, I tried to do this earlier, it didn't let me. This is a whole different setting, but it said, do you want to take your laptop to the version it was before you were having problems? I said, yes, please. It said, do you want to take it back to the date of 8/13/2019? I said, dang, that was yesterday. Please, take that off. Yes. I undid that thing. It turned back on. It was lagging for a little bit at first. My Google wouldn't work. It was doing all this crazy stuff. I said, let me let it chill. And then it worked. And the whole time, like, I had my laptop in my lap because I didn't want to set it up on the desk and everybody be like, oh, look at this dude, the laptop don't work now. So I was just holding it to myself, but then it was good. I put it on the desk. I had to tell my friend, I was like, this whole time I'm trying to get my laptop to work. It just didn't crash on me. I could laugh about it then, but in the moment, I was not laughing. I was like, gosh. So I think, I don't know, maybe don't leave your laptop plugged up all night and put it on carpet. Maybe, I don't know, because it was hot. It was really hot when I picked it up. Remember that? It was hot as mess. But it works now.
So, was the first option another story?
Yeah.
You want to tell that one, or you want to just save that?
We can save that. You got something else to talk about?
So, I got one little thing, but we probably got some time. You can go ahead and tell it.
Okay, let's take a break and then come back to it.
Okay. Well, that would segue into our this week. Once again, we're not gonna have the same segments every week, but I just had to put this one on there. We got another Relive segment I wanted to put on this week's show. Last week we had relived a punk rivalry and That's the same person. And Jeff Hardy's rivalry. So this week has nothing to do with wrestling because we've already talked about it way too much. So I'm gonna take you back, Sims. Let's talk about.
This better be good.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Back in middle school. Now me and Sims have known each other since second grade. We both moved to Clear Creek. Now, we were real close with Devin, Three Musketeers. Shout out to Devin. He's doing one of our YouTube videos. Go check it out.
We mentioned him in the last podcast.
Yeah, dang, Devin. Hit us
I
up,
told him
Devin.
about it. I told him. I said, hey, we mentioned you in there. I guess I gotta tell him again.
Just real quick plug. Thank you guys for the support. We had a good number of views on the first podcast. Last time I checked, looked like it was doing pretty good. So thank you guys for that.
We did.
I think so. So back to the story. Real close in elementary school. Middle school, we didn't drift apart. We just didn't have no classes because back in when we get into high school, everything's picked back up as normal. It's just that middle school area where I didn't have the same classes as you somehow. So we weren't talking every day.
Well, hold on. I think you overestimated elementary school. We had second grade together, and we didn't have any other classes together.
What? Yeah, but
unless you include special areas, and I don't think you're in any of my special areas.
Well, I'm just saying like recess and stuff. Most everybody hung out. Like we were always out there.
Oh, recess.
Everybody was out.
You were in Gateway, so they didn't let me in there. So
the Gateway story is for a different day. So
yeah, I'll tell that.
Middle school. We had a football field. They'd give us a football, or we'd bring a football. We go out there during gym and whatnot and play some football. Pick our teams. Classic bunch of kids playing football in middle school. All right. So, once again, this is like a little bit of a... Me and Sims weren't seeing each other every day, talking every day. No beef or nothing, just, we didn't see each other. So, we get on opposite teams. And I think I was running wide receiver, or I don't remember the exact layout of the team, okay? Because it was 22 versus 22. It was never legit. So I go out for this pass, and I guess Sims was guarding me, or either Sims came halfway across the field getting it. I don't know. Everybody just kind of flocked to the ball when it was thrown up in the air. Everybody just kind of went to the ball. So next thing I know, I think Sam, or one of the same people who were always the darn quarterback.
Sam or Roger, the same people.
No one. Someone was always just all-time quarterback who just never. They just threw because they're probably the best throwers out there. So. Because they both played quarter. I digress. Anyways, ball goes up in the air. I catch the ball. Next thing I feel, there is a darn elbow, concussing me in the top of my head. I
have not heard that up until this
point. Okay, I didn't get no concussion, but I felt an elbow on my head. And it came down pretty hard. And I have this bad problem where if I get injured, and it's just a sudden injury, all I see is red, and this anger comes over me. So, someone elbows me in the head, and I just get this anger just builds up inside me like no other. I didn't even know it was Sims at this point. I didn't even look because my head was kind of down when I got elbowed. I just come up and I just throw a fist. I just throw. Now, of course, I was not looking when I threw this fist. So I missed him by the whole football field. But I just started, like, I think I threw like 3 or 4. Just started swinging. I might have still been holding the football. And next thing I know, I finally, like, and when I come to my senses, Sims is standing there, and his eyes are like the biggest I've ever seen. Like, dude is looking at me like I am crazy. And he's like, we don't say nothing. I just, like, I look at him for a minute and I just stop what I'm doing, and he's just staring at me, and we just go back to playing football. But uh, later on down the road, we texted each other later. I was like, "Hey, sorry, dude. I don't know what came over me." And then it's, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry for elbowing you in the head."
Wait, no, I'm pretty sure I texted you first.
Did you? No,
I think so. I think it was like, I didn't mean to hit you in the head.
This is what happened. I just felt a rage. There was just this rage inside, and I was like, I don't know who it is. I'm coming up swinging, and I was flailing my arms, and the look on Sims's face. We still talk about this story. That's why I had to put it on the segment, because, like, that's call it the middle school scuffle. That's that was funny, but
Well, one thing, I guess I don't know. Now, I'll tell my mom something, and then, like, I'll be talking to my dad, and he'll be like, "Oh, well, you did this, didn't you?" I was like, "Oh, well, yeah." And I was like, "I guess my mom told you." And I don't remember telling you that, but okay. And so, I don't know how later this was, but I think it had to be 8th grade when this happened. But the time, wait, was Miss Smith an 8th grade lit teacher or reading teacher? The one who was, like, connected to Miss Alverstark's room?
Yeah, because it was 8th grade. I was in 8th grade, so yeah.
Okay, well, that makes it even weirder, because your dad was my teacher in the morning, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I was in this. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I guess 8th grade when I got my first phone. So I guess, like, my parents were like I put my phone downstairs at night. I couldn't sleep with it, and, like, I guess that they were still checking my phone then to, like, see what I was doing on there. So one day my dad's like, "Oh, what happened to you and Stuart?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Y'all got in a fight?" I was like, "No, I accidentally, like, hit him in the head. So I had to apologize to him." I was just like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "No, I accidentally hit him in the head."
I will
also,
say, yeah, go ahead.
It goes to show there's this meme going around. It's on TikTok too, of you tapping the soccer player, and then, like, ref, red card. And there's this thing that's like, "Oh, you play soccer?" The ones where if you get tapped, you're complaining and you want a red card. So you just showed yourself a soccer player got nudged in the head, and doing all this extra stuff.
Well, I had this rage come over me. It just happened. It just happened. But I will say, your mom, she brings up a lot of, like old stuff like that randomly, and it's funny because, like, she said she calls me Slender Man, and I didn't know what the point of that was until, like, that last week I came over to your house, or, like, the week before school started back, and I was like, no, it was the one Devin was over there, and she was like, who you think, we were talking about basketball players, she was like, who you think's the greatest, Slender Man? And I was like, what? Did she just, like, what? And then I had no idea. Apparently she's been calling me this, but but I had no idea. I asked Sims, I said, why did she call me that? And it was because, okay, I don't remember the way I don't remember.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, I don't
Stuart
remember.
had spent the night at my house. And so, morning comes, it's breakfast time. So we're down there eating breakfast, and there maybe a trailer came on the TV or something. And the trailer came on for Slender Man, like the movie or something came on for Slender Man. And we're talking about it, and my mom's in the kitchen. And I guess we were talking loud to where she could hear. And I don't know what I say. You ever played Slender Man? Have you ever seen Slender Man before? And Stuart said, we talking about the game or real life? The mom was like, there is no real life.
I can
you see Slender Man? Are you talking about the game or real life?
I can explain myself. So, me and my bunch of my cousins, we should go to my great grandpa's house, and he had this super long hallway in his house, and like we would play Slender Man, which is like somebody we all got flashlights, and like Slender Man was one person, and he would like go around, and like if he caught you in the house, he got you, but like we could flash him with the flashlight, and he'd go away for like 5 seconds, and we had time to run, you know what I'm saying? And we used to play that, and so that's what I was referring to. Like, you ever played Slender Man in real life? You're talking about the game, you're talking about real life, because I didn't know if anybody else played Slender Man, but we played Slender Man. So that's what that's what I meant.
I said, you ever play Slender Man? I was like, you talking about the game or real life? What?
Oh gosh.
But that was a twofer. You just put two relives back together.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do 2 relives, but I started thinking about. You said something about how your dad was like, "Oh, y'all got in a fight?" Like they just be knowing, and they reference the old things. My parents do too sometimes, but that's for another relive. You got one more.
I just thought about a relive, but I'll save it.
You got one more story for us, or are we gonna wrap it up there?
No, we can wrap it up. I'll save it. I don't want to overload it.
Alrighty. As we
That'd
will
be like the third story or the fourth story in a row.
So a lot of wrestling, a lot of old stories today, but it is what it is. You guys listen. We'll have timestamps again. Thank you. It's on the YouTube channel again, so like, comment, subscribe. This is the One Stop Shop podcast, episode 2. This will continue. We're keeping it going. And once again, if you're still into Slender Man, that kind of died down. If you're into Slender Man, if you like playing the game or you like playing in real life, either way, I can relate. So, for Sims. Well, I'll let you do your own outro, Sims. I won't speak for you.
Thank y'all for listening. Make sure you use those timestamps. I'm sure if you got to this point, then you've probably already used the timestamps. But for next time, use the timestamps next time too, because I know there's stuff y'all, I know a lot of y'all, there's stuff you don't want to hear, so you can just skip that. You can just go listen to what you want to listen to. Nobody's trying to make you listen to something you don't want to listen to.
Yeah, we'd like you for listening. Listen to it all if you want, but we know most of y'all don't be liking wrestling, so.
I wouldn't expect my grandma to be like, "Oh yeah, what happened to NXT?" My grandma, what? I don't care about NXT. So go ahead and just skip around, keep listening. All you gotta do is what? You need to take a shower. We'll listen to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta drive to work. We'll listen to the podcast. You gotta drive to school. We'll listen to the podcast. You in the bathroom. We'll listen to the podcast. You gotta do the dishes. We'll listen to the podcast. You're cooking dinner. Listen to the podcast. Oh, what? You gotta mow the lawn? listen to the podcast. You gotta go to the grocery store, listen to the podcast. You're doing homework, listen to the podcast. You're working out, listen to the podcast.
Maybe not with homework. You kind of need to study.
You gotta study? You don't need to study.
Oh my gosh.
Listen to the podcast.
Well, we're running late and it's running long, so I said that backwards. I was going to make that a thing and I said it backwards. Because I said it last time.
It's running late and we're running long.
I said it backwards. Wait. We're running long and it's running late. Is that the way I said it the first time? I don't know. Thanks, guys. Next week we'll be back with another one. As for Sims, this is Stu. This is the One Stop Shop Podcast, Episode 2. Catch you on the flip side.